Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror PSA presented by Scary Nerd. And as always, we are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm Saul.
And I'm Angie.
The following is a public service announcement.
A newly possessed high school cheerleader turns into a succubus who specializes in killing her classmates. Can her best friend put an end to the horror? That's right. We watched the 2009 crap fest Jennifer's Body. Didn't care for it myself. But okay, I do want to point out, this is the first time I've watched it. And it looked like crap, which is why I never wanted to watch it. But I do have to say, the writer Diablo Cody intended this to be a dark comedy.
Yeah.
She never wanted it to be a horror film, quote unquote. And if you watch it going in, because I've heard if you watch it as a comedy more than a horror film, it's actually not as bad. And I tried to go into this watching it that way, and it's still fucking bad. I didn't care for it.
Saul?
For as much shit as this movie gets, I like it because of that. Because you think it's going to be a dark horror, but it's got those comedy elements to me, which makes it a little bit better than what everybody gives it credit for.
I did not enjoy this at all. I'll have to be honest. I was going in for the dark comedy, and I could see those hits of like the Heathers and stuff, like those kinds of themes that she was getting.
Yeah, she was influenced by Heathers.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's
for
what she
sure.
wanted. I think she said that.
And the lines and stuff, but even some, I'm like, no. And maybe it was just because I was a mom. I had my first child in 2009, and I was like, who speaks like this? Who is talking like this? Like, are these lines that anybody actually say? I will say. Oh, were you going to say something?
Go ahead. I do want to say something, but
I will say that I did enjoy the whole theme of that song haunting her, because that has recently happened to me with that Shaggy song with It Wasn't Me. I loathed that song when it first came out, and it was fucking everywhere. And now it's on a commercial, and it haunts me.
it
follows me everywhere.
And now it's on a commercial with annoying ass Ashton fucking Kutcher singing for some reason.
Off key terribly.
Yes,
Go away,
like,
Shaggy. Go away. I'm sorry. I know you're out there doing you, but you are in my life, and I can't deal with it.
Hey, I'm okay with Shaggy. Go away, Ashton Kutcher. That's what I'm saying. I've been trying to get go.
And how is it a fucking Cheeto commercial? Like, what has even happened in the world?
I don't know.
They're what's the tag team song for Ice Cream now?
This is just the age we're at.
Are we that old now that the jingles are
all the jingles are our old
songs?
songs?
The songs we used to dance at in junior high dances.
But back to the movie.
I
don't want to go back to the movie.
I thought it was weird. I didn't get, like, the beginning and kind of the end felt disconjointed from the middle story to me. Like her in the whole psych ward or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that energy to me didn't match her energy at the end or in the middle. So I was like, I don't, like, none of these feel connected to me.
Yeah, I get what they were trying to go for, to where, like, okay, well, how does she go from, or how does she end up being this chick that's crazy in the mental hospital if she's, needy, which is the timid, character that she plays in high school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I get there, like, okay, this is where we end up. Here's how we get there. But I'm like, the journey was not worth it for me.
Not
and I do
either.
have to say that I don't know if there was any, like, re-editing or, like, producer, influence. Because I do feel, it is more of a black comedy. It is more of a, dark humor with gore, And those movies can be fun. But I think the thing that really didn't resonate with me in this movie, and it's not a bad movie. What makes it a bad movie for me personally is I don't get these characters. I don't get this age. Like, I didn't talk like that. I don't know anyone that talks like that, because I've never even heard, like, the salty thing. I'm like,
I've never heard
I'm
that
like, did
either.
she just make this up, or is that actual thing the kid said back then?
Well, see, and that was my problem with it too. And I was like, is this, Diablo Cody writing for this age group? You know what I mean? Or did she get input from this age group? Because it didn't feel natural. Did she
talk like that when she was that age? Like, and what are we saying that age? Because Amanda Seyfried was 24 and Megan Fox was 23. Yeah. So,
but Megan Fox is the same age as me. So yes, in 2009 I was a mom, and
So, I mean, I feel like this movie was meant to be high school kids that weren't either acting like this at all at that point, or
Did I say 2003? I meant 2009.
2009.
Yeah. I don't get who this movie was made for. I think
maybe
that's my biggest thing.
where it got lost, because even when it came out, I was like, okay, I get that they're trying to play on the whole Jennifer, the what's her face.
The way when I remember it came out, the way they marketed it was because Megan Fox was the next hottest big thing. And they were like,
quickly fizzled out too.
Because this was like shortly after Transformers, where everybody had the huge boner for her. And
they were definitely banking off her star at that point.
But I didn't even feel like she was the central character, and her parts weren't even great.
Well, see, and that's the whole thing about it too, because it really is like, and Diablo Cody herself blames the marketing for this, and I can totally see it. Because I mean, even us talking about what we saw in the trailers and how we remember it being marketed, it was all about Megan Fox.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if we've seen it, but I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Tamra.
I don't think
I thought this was just a blatant ripoff of Tamra.
You know what it reminded me a lot of, and somebody even brought it up in the IMDb thing. It reminded me a lot of Ginger Snaps.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that too. The high school
thing.
age and revenge thing in Ginger Snaps, but Tamra is a kind of a lower budget indie, and it's literally like it's this nerdy chick that some like popular people invite her to a party, and something happens, and she ends up getting killed accidentally. But then they end up like burying her body or something, and then she comes back, and she like is hot now, and like takes revenge on them one by one. It's actually a pretty good, like, decent movie.
Okay, now that you're talking about it, I think I may have seen it, because that rings like a huge bell for me. Like, I think I may have seen something like that.
I don't remember that having anyone like any huge names in it or whatever. But when the way that they marketed this movie, I'm like, this is just a blatant ripoff of Tamra. Like, I totally thought it was going to be that, and then watching it now, I'm like, okay, no, it's not. Like, there's different elements and different layers to this movie, but I'm like, the way that they showed what this movie was going to look like and what it actually is way off.
I kept getting annoyed because I'm like, they just keep like sexualizing them for the audience. There were no points to some of her sexualization other than just to give the audience a view of...
With the characters or with each other?
Both.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the times, like... I mean, in the beginning, when Jennifer is still Jennifer and they go to that club or whatever, like, even then she's like grabbing her boobs. She's like, these are smart bombs or whatever.
Yeah.
But then later, then they start making out. And even Needy's like, what is going on? And I'm just like, this is stupid. Like, that didn't have to happen. That scene didn't have to take place. It doesn't matter at all throughout the rest of the film.
And that's, to me, why I'm not a big fan of Diablo Cody, because this was all her. She added that more in after her first draft.
I don't get that at all either.
And I don't get her dialogue either.
I don't get the dialogue at all. I was like, this dialogue is awful. It makes no sense. It's kitschy.
I'm like, what kids talk like this? Like, the whole, she's like, you're a lime green cello, and I'm like, what?
I know.
Who talks like that?
And like, if anybody talked to me like that, I'd be like, are you 5? Get away from me.
And like, it's almost like, and maybe the fact that, like, maybe what I'm not getting is, like, maybe it was satire. But she was like, this is what small town, I think they were in Minnesota. Yeah. It was a small town in Minnesota or something like that.
Devil's
so I think,
Kettle.
Yeah, well, the IMDb trivia said that actual place, the Devil's Kettle thing, is in Minnesota. So I'm assuming, and the fact that Chris Pratt's character had a weird accent.
I know. I was like, Canadian?
Yeah, it's like, it's Canadian, it's Minnesota, it's kind of Wisconsin, it's kind of Michigan for some reason. I don't know.
Chris Pratt is in all of 3 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
He's just in the beginning. He just shows up and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot he was in this.
And apparently he fucked Jennifer in the ass.
Why is Andy Dwyer just showed up and fucked Jennifer in the ass and was like, I'm going to be a cop now. He's always, every character just wants to be a cop, I guess. But yeah.
Well, he's the white dude in a small town who wants to be a cop.
It's fitting, I guess. But, I don't get what they were. I think it was. So maybe that she was trying to get, like, this is how Minnesota teens think that, like, California teens would talk, and how, like, the MTV teens are, and they chose these weird random sayings in their dialogue. But I'm like, I don't get it.
Not, as somebody from Iowa, which is very close to Minnesota, no.
I don't see. Well, I don't get what their dialogue is. Then, like, I don't get who talks like that. Like, who she was writing this for, or writing this
honestly,
about.
And I'm gonna say this, and this might kill Saul's soul a little bit, but this movie felt like a Twilight version of a succubus story to me.
Yeah, I could see
that
like,
for sure.
I'm like, this is just
I think that's
generic.
What it is. Yeah.
let's horny up the kids and get something in front of them. That's what this is to me.
Okay, it's a somewhere between a sci-fi and like a theatrical thing of like a knockoff Twilight movie, but with succubus. Like I totally, I'm dialed into that now. That's what this movie is.
I think I like it more so
grab.
just because of the comedy aspects of it. Because like, I mean, how could you not laugh at the fucking emo kids?
The band.
Not just the band, but the emo kids.
The one emo kid that she kills. Right? What's his Colin or
what's his face?
Him.
Yeah.
Colin Gray or something.
Colin.
Something stupid like that. Who names these characters too? Like
him, but Gray. Also his friends when they're at the funeral, they're like, "I'm in such pain," and then when the mom like schools them.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody knew the freaking emo kids in school.
Yeah. And I get that.
So when they had them in there, that's the thing that made me laugh. Because it's like...
I don't know.
And I could see the satire, like especially with the band and with the kids and how amped up everybody got over this one little tiny tragedy in their shit town. Like I totally get those themes of the satire. But the dialogue took me completely out of the satire every time.
And see, that's the weird thing about it, because I'm pretty sure she grew up in a small town.
Yeah, and even like I think, some of the decisions, I was just like, no, because when they get out of the bar, right, after it's on fire, they're sitting on the ground, and it's clear that Jennifer is in some sort of trance. Yeah. She's in. Like, because there was an intense scene where they were staring at each other, and then she's just like, oh, the rest of the time. So it was like, was that supposed to mean like the band had put some sort of spell over her?
Yeah.
And that's why she just went along with it? Because Needy did not put up a big enough of a fight. I was like, what if Jennifer was drugged and you just let them get into a van?
Yeah, I'm really
no, Needy, you need to use your voice and say, nope, I'm taking my fucking friend home.
Yeah, I think they were trying to play up the aspect of how Needy was just kind of fed up with Jennifer.
Well, Jennifer was a dick. She was not a good friend.
And that's the thing too. And like that's why I'm like, this movie confuses me about what they were trying to accomplish. And I get, it was marketed one way, but what they meant it. So like I don't know if there was actual edits made that made it more confusing, or if this is what they actually made the movie to be and just the marketing was confusing. But either way, the story is not coherent to where it's like, none of this makes sense. And I don't know if it's satire that you're just like, it's going to be so out of place, like, because none of these characters I feel like would hang out with each other.
No,
like this bar, and just seeing the bartender and the people that work there, I'm like, they would not have this music being played there. Like this is not the bar for like that weird 2009's like soft, like whatever fucking rock you want to call it, emo rock or some shit. And I don't care. Adam Brody could not ever look cool as a band, as like a lead singer.
I know. I was like Adam Brody, come on.
I know that he's not actually singing and all that, and it's not meant for you to kind of.
And it's meant to be ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
but I'm like, you do not even look cool up there, man.
I was like, at one point, I was like, did nobody like one half of his eyeliner is just completely smudged? Like makeup didn't even come in to like fix it. Like, come on, guys. But yeah, no, Adam Brody with that whole 2009 rock. I
don't know. To me, I think like I said, to me, I think that just how bad it is, that's why I enjoyed it that much more.
And see, maybe that's I don't like to watch things that are so bad that I cringe. And like that whole, there was a point where I'm watching this, I was like, this is legitimately, and I like My Chemical Romance, but at a certain point I was like, this is just My Chemical Romance music video.
Why did we need like 5 minutes of every song that played? Because it was like, why are we're literally just sitting here watching this concert happen like we're part of the fucking bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, we don't need to sit here and have this whole song.
And again, maybe it's just my own, life, but I was just like, I grew up, I think I went to high school the year, not 9/11. Well, yes, I was a junior, I was a sophomore when 9/11 happened, but like right after Columbine, right? Yeah. So like, I have been in those situations where tragedies have happened and everybody's freaking out and like, running around the school being sad and, trying to come together or whatever. And I was annoyed by it then because I was like, we're not even in the tragedy. Like, get out of my face.
Yeah, that whole scene where Needy is yelling at that other girl, she's like, because I was fucking there. I know what happened. They didn't help with anyone. They didn't do shit. They just got out and left.
They know. And like they were the whole storyline where she's like, hell is a teenage girl. And I was just like, okay, so this is a teenage girl story. Like Ginger Snaps, right? Yeah. Like at least that was a formative, like, oh, I'm, going through changes and this is about my body. And like, I get that whole thing, but like this just went a completely different way that didn't go anywhere coherent for me.
No,
I don't get it.
Because I really felt like, I don't know, like, it's called Jennifer's Body, but I felt like the story was more about Needy and her just coming to terms with shit of her own relationship and putting up with Jennifer's shit the whole time.
And I don't understand why when Needy and young Neil were having sex, she started seeing all of stuff of Jennifer. Like, I don't understand that at all. Because like,
why was she having those visions or whatever?
Yeah, she started having visions of Jennifer killing people while she's fucking Chip, and I was like, I don't get what's going on here.
Was that supposed to be more like I feel like she was really trying to play up their like closeness as two women or whatever.
Maybe.
And then when you throw in the whole sex aspect, and like, why was Needy just going with it for a while?
I don't know.
Because I'm like, Diablo Cody, when I say she, the writer or whatever, she really amped up this whole like sexual tension between the two of them. And I'm like, but why? Because Jennifer's clearly likes dudes.
Yeah.
And what's to say, like, why is Needy having these, like, why are you having them as like, they're curious thing?
They
I'm
were
like,
only
I get it
here
or whatever,
and there. They wasn't all the time. Like that one weird intense shot where they're holding hands when the band is playing in the beginning. But again, that doesn't go anywhere. And they make out that one time, but there's just so much intensity between them for no reason.
And she makes it a significant thing that when they're holding hands, that then they just let go. Like she purposely lets go. Like Needy lets go of Jennifer's hand. Like it's like this big zoom in shot where it's like, oh, it's significant. She's not holding her hand. Like,
I was
okay,
just like,
where's this going?
This film made some choices, and I guess I didn't
didn't
like those
choices.
Just appreciate it for how bad it is.
It is bad. It is bad.
It is bad, but I'm like, I think it's just confusing is what it is. It would be better if it wasn't so confusing, because I can enjoy the comedic aspects of it. I know what they were going for. I feel like I get what they were going for, but they weren't quite there for me. And they weren't quite there to make a coherent enough story to where it could be as funny as I get. There's definitely potential in this story. I mean, this story, the way they have it, there's some elements that I think is not needed at all or needed in like great reduction, but the bones of the story, I think, could be a very funny movie, and it just missed its mark on a lot of things for me.
Yeah, I think the satire didn't hit.
Yeah,
I think that what they thought was satire went somewhere else.
Satire is hard to do right.
It is. Yeah. It is really hard to do, but I get what you're saying. Just appreciate it for how terrible it is. But like I said, I don't enjoy things where I cringe through it, and I was just like, oh, Adam Brody singing, no.
Yeah, but he gets his comeuppance though.
Not really, though.
Yes,
I guess murdered. They do. They all get murdered at the end, but still, like when they take Jennifer, I was just like, why are you talking to them as you're tied up? Like she's just like, please, please, please. I'm like, stop, honey, stop. Talk shit at that moment. Like, you're gonna die. You tell those people that they have little dicks. Yeah. And you emasculate them. They're gonna kill you. Like,
yeah, you're going out. Go out with a bang.
Like Pastor Cotton did. Go out on your feet.
Or like in Mandy. Just laugh.
Right? Like, lots of
I don't know.
Here's the thing you got to remember about her character, though. She's one of those people who's used to everybody giving her way, so obviously she's not going to play up to that. So,
and I didn't understand why she wasn't eating people right and left. She was like, when I'm get hungry, I'm like, why wouldn't you just make sure you're never hungry? Because that would be my thing. I don't think she figured that out yet. She figured out to eat.
She slowly figured it out.
She seems like she figured it out the first night when she was going over to Needy's house. She's like, I didn't want to eat you.
I was so hungry.
I was so hungry,
But then she slowly started figuring out, because then she realized, okay, I'm getting weak.
Well, okay, but it's like she ate the chicken or whatever. And I thought that scene was actually kind of funny. She's like, okay, my mom's not here and I'm not supposed to eat that chicken.
Got that from Boston Market.
Yeah, she got that from Boston Market. I'm not supposed to. Okay.
Because she did that afterwards. Because that's the one thing is like when she left.
When we come to find out, she goes and eats the foreign exchange kid that actually got out and nobody knew or whatever. So it just really seemed to me that's like at first night she realized like, okay, because I think she literally says like, after that I felt so much better.
Yeah.
And then you see her the next day after piece the whole story together. And
but I think the one thing she didn't realize is how often she had to.
Yeah.
If she did it all the time, then she would feel fine.
That would be an adjustment period, I'm sure. Because, you're vampire or succubus, whatever.
Because then she realizes, I haven't eaten in a while because I'm full. And then she starts feeling like crap. And that's when you realize, okay, they need to constantly eat to stay this way.
I would do it anyway.
And that's what she slowly started. And that's what she slowly started realizing.
Yeah, but you're in a small town. You can't deplete the population that quickly. Yeah. What are you going to eat?
I would eat the band. Like, she remembers that the band did this to her.
I'm assuming.
I would be like, nope. If I'm hungry, I know 5 guys that are looking pretty delicious right now. Fuck these dudes.
Yeah, especially the fact that the fucking band just like took over the town. Like, would it really be like that? You feel like I feel like that aspect of like the whole being a small town. It's like, oh, the band loves us, and it's like our personal thing and our personal tragedy, and the band's a part of that.
Side note: we had 2 girls in my school, and that got really close to a local band, and they invited them to play at our high school, and it was exactly like that. So yes, it would really be like that.
What band was it? You know.
I don't even remember.
Some crap band that never made it.
Yes, and then I never went
to
look.
Was it that band that you gave them that shitty realization that they had a...
No, that band was here.
Oh, okay.
Any day now. Yeah, that was here. Wow. No, I've destroyed lots of people's dreams. Yes.
You gotta find a new band name because your band name is shitty.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I get I did think that the whole goth kids of Colin Gray and his his whole bravado of being sad and
okay.
So much eyeliner. I wonder what their eyeliner budget was.
the eyeliner budget and the blood budget were the 2 main.
I didn't even see that. See, and maybe that was my other problem is there wasn't enough. It was
chocolate syrup for Jennifer's puke
the black
in the floor. Yeah, the black shit.
See, I didn't think this was gory enough. Obviously. I was like, I needed more blood.
See, and that's the thing, because Diablo Cody said, I never wanted this to be a horror movie. And I get that. Like, if you don't want it to be a horror movie, then you're not going to make it that gory.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Heathers is technically a horror movie, but it's not.
Some people will fight you on that.
Yeah, and there's a debate about it, but I mean, horror movie or not, it's still a dark comedy. And I think that's especially what you're trying to do with this movie. Like, you're trying to make that dark comedy that wasn't, a crazy gore fest. I get that, but I don't know. You missed your mark on so many other things that it didn't matter in the end.
And I think dark comedies usually have something to say, or they're making fun of something, or they're specifically trying to look through a specific lens. And I get that maybe with the whole band and like the whole music scene at the time, and just put a spotlight on that.
I do think his line about that was funny. Like, there's so many shitty bands like us. Like, what's gonna make us stand out? I'm like, it's true. Like,
and I get the lens on that,
especially the music they played at this fucking.
But
movie.
It got disconjointed because the movie's called Jennifer's Body. We're supposed to think the story is about her. That's the lens we're going for. Like, if they were going for a dark comedy on like teenage girls or, the band or this small town, the lens needed to be different, I guess.
Yeah.
They needed to focus somewhere. And where they were focusing was on the friends, and that didn't get their comedy across.
And I wonder if they even wanted to call this Jennifer's Body, or if that was another thing that got changed along the way to kind of play up Megan Fox's, star power at the time. Because it's literally, Jennifer's Body, but it's like, but her body plays one small role in it.
I know, she's not even in it that much.
It's like, it's the fact that they had to sacrifice this chick that was not a virgin, not even a butt virgin, because she said Roman took that.
Not a backdoor virgin.
She couldn't go to Flags. I don't know if that was because they clearly don't. Do they have a Six Flags in this shit town? Or?
Maybe
or near. Was.
Maybe Six Flags Minneapolis or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just these characters wouldn't hang out with each other, and I don't know if that was part of the satire that missed its mark. That it's like, because you look at. Amanda Seyfried was 24. Megan Fox was 23. And clearly, they do a great job of making Amanda Seyfried look like a high school kid.
Yeah.
With her, hair and makeup and, wardrobe and everything. And they clearly make Megan Fox look much older. And, they're playing up the sex appeal and all that stuff. But I'm like, these chicks would not hang out with each other.
I know. And there's that line that Amanda Seyfried has about Sandbox
friends or whatever.
Never die. I'm like, that's not true. No, any girl that's been to high school will tell you that is absolutely not true.
I feel like the friends you had in 8th grade, by the time you get to 10th grade, like there's not
they're
same.
Either there or they're not.
Yeah, it's not the same people. Yeah. I mean, there's
if
going to be
there,
some carryover.
They're going to be there for forever, and if they're not there, they're not going to be there.
If you're friends with them after 9th grade, then you're going to be friends with them forever.
Yes,
that's the thing.
Yes.
I feel like
that with me a lot. Like, to your point, like I had a couple what I would say good friends in 8th grade. We got to high school, and then who I thought were good friends ended up hanging out with other crowds, and I'm like, oh, okay, you're gonna be one of those people.
Yeah.
You do different shit. And
Your
that's the
life,
thing.
your life forms, and you
And yeah,
figure it out.
even you coming from a small town, like that happens.
Yeah.
It happens everywhere. And these chicks would not be friends.
No, they wouldn't.
At 17 or whatever, age they were. I think 17, 18 doesn't really. I don't know if they say.
I know. And again, like, I didn't get the little hints of, oh, are they lesbian? I didn't get it. Because, like, when they're in the gym in the beginning, when they're like, oh, nobody knows why we're friends. Like, that other little Asian chick's like, you're a lesbian.
Yeah.
Like, what?
We're just friends.
Like, she has a boyfriend.
I know. Like, and I mean, Megan, or not Megan, but Jennifer is clearly promiscuous.
Yeah.
So, like, she's, takes it in the butt from Roman.
Mm-hmm. Who's not even out of the academy yet. She don't love herself.
No, she don't.
Love yourself and your holes.
And if it hurts, you need more lube, sweetheart.
Should have sit on a bag of peas.
Which, again, is also a problem. Maybe you should see somebody about that. You do get a close-up of her weird thumb, though.
Let's try it. Weird Megan Fox thumb.
Megan Fox has a weird thumb.
I don't get it.
You get it, and you guys probably didn't see it because it's during the lesbian kissing scene when she's touching Needy's face.
She's touching her face, and I'm like, oh.
Weird thumb. Weird thumb.
I didn't pick up on the thumbs. I know she has weird thumbs.
She does.
Yeah.
It's very weird. But yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, this movie had the bones of being something that could have been really funny, and I think a horror satire, political or not political, but social funniness, social norms, and bucking the things. But Adam Brody doesn't.
Adam Brody singing.
He can't be in a band, man. I'm sorry.
I know, it's so not his voice. It's so not Adam Brody's voice.
No.
You can tell it's so bad when he's
singing. I want to see the outtakes of, like, do you think he actually sings or he just mouths?
Oh, he mouths for sure.
Yeah.
And having like, how many times do you have to do that? And I wonder if he still knows the words to this day.
The thing about that movie, about that damn song, is the more and more you heard it, the more and more you started to fucking hate it. I'm like, I'm sick of this song too. It's like, I don't want to fucking hear this.
See, and that's the other thing too. Like, it wasn't funny to keep hearing it. Like, when you watch Euro Trip and you see Scotty doesn't know when they play it, and then you hear it's a jingle for this or it's that.
It's like its own joke.
It's its own inside joke, and it's funny. But that, like, this song in this movie, like, no, it's like
it was meant for you to hate it.
Yeah, were you meant to hate it and like just be in constantly? I fucking hate this. Because the thing about it, I hated all the music in this music in this movie. Not my music.
You didn't like that giant Fall Out Boy poster she had?
Yeah. Then, like, they were really playing up the MTV aspect, teenagers.
Was it even MTV during that time? Like, hadn't they stopped playing music in 2009? Like, what is this teenage culture she was trying to tap into? Is what I want to know.
And she graduated from the University of Iowa, so I'm like, at the very least, you know what it's like to live in, like, a smaller place.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she grew up in a small town because she seems to, like, write about small town growing up, and I'm like, you write what you know. So I don't get it though. Like, what I don't get what she was going for with these characters or their dialogue or who they were completely.
Wasn't it that she got mainly this movie because of Juno?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think she got a lot of opportunities because of Juno. And with Juno, she really lucked out with her cast. She had a great cast to put together on that film.
I've never seen Juno.
It's good. It's actually decent. But again, there are some things in that where I'm like, this character wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Which okay, and I don't want to say that her Oscar was a fluke, but you've seen what she's done with her career after that. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about Jennifer's Body, or for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else I've seen her write other articles and comment. I'm like, why is she guest writing on stuff? Like, she did one good thing. Like,
that's all you got to do in your life is you just got to do one good thing.
You got to make one original thing, and people
just can't take away your Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I don't know.
Unless you touch people.
They still
can't take it from you. Just put a little asterisk next to you. Like, touches people.
Well, who even knows how long the Oscars are going to be a thing? Hollywood's having a whole nother reckoning. Hollywood just needs to chill. Right?
No. Or we just need to I just want to make horror movies and stay in my own lane. Okay? Right? I don't care about Hollywood. I don't
watch horror. Stop touching people. That'll be make that T-shirt.
Yeah. Watch horror. Stop touching people. If you get the right context, I guess.
Yes. Well, let's talk about the pool scene when she kills young Neil. And AKA Chip.
Yeah, Chip. We just keep calling him Young Neil.
Well, that's all I know him from is Scott Pilgrim.
And immediately when I saw him, I'm like, yeah, it's Young Neil. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fuck his real name was. What's his real name?
Punched the color, or he slapped the color out of her hair.
Yeah. I don't even know his real name.
I don't know his real name, but he's Young Neil.
But Chip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chip again.
Chip McCap.
I could see why Needy and Chip were together, right?
Yeah,
like,
their relationship made sense.
Jennifer just didn't fit in the town at all. Maybe that was the whole problem. Like her character, her look, everything about her felt
Roman and Chris Pratt's douchey, small town character, Figos.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, he grounded her character a little more to this town. I'm like, okay, there are other douchey people like her. Because you don't really get to meet any other characters in this high school besides the people that she kills.
Yeah.
You get the random people in their classes that have one or two lines that say shit, and she yells at that one girl about, the band didn't do shit or whatever. But you don't really get to know any of these other characters. So it's like, you don't know where Jennifer fits in this. Like, maybe there are other douchey people like her. Like, that's what I said. Like, Roman kind of makes it seem like there's a whole other level of douchey that kind of exists that you don't get to meet in this town.
So she was part of the Plastics?
Yeah,
probably.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much
I
where it's going.
also didn't get the whole thing with, Jennifer being like, I'm going to get you a drink. There's this really great 9/11 drink. I was like, what?
See, that played it up to me, the small town, patriotic. I'm a patriot. That whole aspect of it too.
I didn't get it.
And then what was this? Yeah, it was 2009.
Yeah.
So the fact that I think that was satire of playing on the fake patriotism thing, still petering,
maybe.
still going on, 8 years later kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't know where she was going with any of this shit. I can only left with my own wild guesses.
What I do think that I also have a prejudice towards this film because of the people who genuinely like this movie. Like, have you ever seen somebody get really into this movie and you're just like, oh, okay, that's who you are?
See, the thing about it though is the reason I like this movie is because of how bad it was.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's I didn't like the movie because of how great and how all these people think it's underrated and it's all this.
Yeah,
and
those
all that.
people. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't
those
get
are the
those
fucking people.
What do you mean it's underrated? It is adequately rated.
What aspect of this is underrated? I don't get that either. I'm like I said, I think they missed their mark on so many things. And it just left with this muddled confusion, and maybe if probably not anytime soon, but if I ever get around to watching it again, kind of knowing more what to expect, because like I said, I knew going in that the way it was marketed versus the way it was meant are two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna kind of go in and knowing that view it as a comedy, and even doing that, I'm like, I didn't give myself enough credit to be like, view it as we're at Camp Arawak or we're
maybe that's what I
didn't expect as much cheese. I was like, okay, that's so maybe if I watch it again and expect, okay, now that I know it's full cheese, then maybe I can appreciate it more.
That's why I appreciate it much more, because I remember when I first saw it, I didn't pay money to see this in the movie theater. I think I saw it when it came out.
That was wise, yeah.
On HBO or Showtime or whatever it need to be. And when I saw it then, I was like, this movie's
currently on Stars.
I was like, this movie's bad.
Yeah.
And then the times I've seen it since, it's like I know it's bad and I get to appreciate its badness, and that's what made me enjoy it that much more, because again, you just see the you guys have been saying, the stuff doesn't really go anywhere, but it's like, okay,
now that I know that it doesn't go anywhere, maybe it'll be more fun to watch.
Yeah, because maybe the first time you watch it, you focus on it because you're like, where's this headed?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it went in so many directions.
And you know what? I'm gonna give this movie a little more credit, because we watched this movie back to back with Last Exorcism, so we were already like, where's this going? Where's that going? Yeah. So we were already in that mode of trying to figure shit out. We're
that's we kind of did the same thing too. It was I know I had seen this before, and it was one of those things. Just I knew, I think what you guys will appreciate if you watch it again is how bad it is, and then just realize, okay, I know where it's going, I know how bad it is, and I'm going to enjoy it for that.
I didn't know we were going to sleepaway camp. That's my thing. Yeah. Now that I know what to expect, I think I will. I think I would appreciate it a little bit more. And but I still don't. I still don't think I'll ever.
I get your impressions, because, like I said, this was you guys' first watch. And that's how I felt too. It was like, this movie was bad. How?
Yeah.
Where was it going? Exactly, all that stuff. And then you read all the reviews when everybody, like Angie was saying, the people that will defend this movie to the death. to me, I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people that will defend it because it's bad, and like I know it's bad. And if you want to watch something that is just bad, and you really and if you want to if you want to turn your brain off, like with some of the movies we've done,
it's cheesy bad fun.
If you just want to turn your brain off and have something on there that you know is bad, that you know you really don't have to pay attention to, you don't have to do really any of those things too. This is what this movie is.
It's cheesy bad fun when you're in the mood for cheesy bad fun. But I think you have to know that you're going into cheesy bad fun to appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think that's what turns me off for those people who are like, it's so amazing or it's underrated and blah 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 blah. And it's like, because I saw the previews and even before we had watched it, I was like, oh, a succubus version of Twilight. Yeah. And it still is that.
Yeah.
But if you have those people who are like, no, it's so underrated, you're still going to be like, okay, maybe it's not that in the back of your mind. You know, like if people somewhere love this film and then you watch it and you're like, no, those people are stupid.
See, that's the thing that I don't get. Like, okay, knowing this, I mean, I can tell now that I will be able to appreciate this movie more on the second watching, knowing I'm in for cheesy bad fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But even though that I'm gonna know that, I'm never gonna be at the level where I'm like, it's underrated gem and this and that. I'm like, I don't get, because I think the people that defend it tooth and nail to be like, no, it's so great, are not the ones that are saying it's cheesy bad fun and that's what makes it great.
Exactly.
They're like, they defend it like it's some sort of like
it's a cult classic.
Like it's a cult classic masterpiece.
Or it says
it's
something big about women. I'm like, this movie says nothing.
I feel like, I don't know, I'm a man, but whatever. I feel like some of these character choices kind of degraded women in this film.
It 100%
I'm like,
did.
why would chicks do this? Like, that doesn't make sense.
There were so many parts too with the filmmaking I didn't get. Like when shit just got amped up, but nothing really moved in the film. Like when that whole fire breaks out, like you're not taken into like amped up mode. Like you do in some movies when shit hits the fan. You know, in this one it's just kind of like, oh, we're watching a band and then we're outside.
Yeah.
And like it's almost like nothing happened.
Yeah, because even the deaths in the fire as shit started to like fall down, like are not even like that significant.
You don't care because we don't know anybody in this fucking thing.
Yeah, like
we don't know any of these people.
It happened so quickly, and I think it was funny that they made a bigger deal about the foreign exchange student dying than the rest of the people in there, because you don't. I mean, I'm assuming that Roman guy died or whatever. Like, you don't know. I mean, pretty much everyone you think, except for a handful of people or whatever. But I did find that funny. They're like, oh, like yeah, he died. Like he was in there and this and that. And I'm like, oh.
Or that Jonas guy you see one time who says one line and then he's dead, but then she goes to kill his best friend the next day.
Which one is Jonas?
Jonas was the other guy with
Jonas the one she kills. The one that she eats.
Jonas is the one.
Oh, the football guy.
The football guy.
The Letterman jacket. And he was the friend.
Yeah, and then there was another friend that had a football jacket in the thing.
Yeah, the one that
he's crying about. Jonas is crying about.
Because she was like, that's why you're in stupid math or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
and again, I do not like the word tard, and they use it a lot of times in this movie. Again, the writing choices. I don't get her writing choices.
Her dialogue.
I don't either.
At all.
I don't get it.
And I feel like that's like, is that part of her kitsch that people like? They're like, it's different. And I'm like, but it's not good.
It's not. I don't get it either.
I mean,
that's my thing.
Different is not always good.
I don't have an issue with Megan Fox. You're out there, you're making money, you're doing your thing. I just don't enjoy her acting. I don't get it. I don't get why people like it. I don't think she's funny. I don't think she has great timing. I respect the game and the hustle. Do you, girl? But I just don't get it.
I think for this character, she did really well.
Yeah.
But it's just
what?
No. Here's what I'm saying. Let's hear me out. I think for this character, she did a good job at it. But I think this character just didn't fit in the thing.
This wasn't a good character.
I know, okay, but I'm saying she did a good job, herself as being that character, because that's the character that she can play as Megan Fox,
I
right?
Disagree.
But I don't think that this character fit in this movie. So I think the character, whether it was her or anyone else that played it, was going to be out of place and out of fucking left field, no matter who it was in this fucking movie. But I think that ditzy character that she plays is about the only character that is believable for her.
It's so dumb
for me.
And it's a caricature of every shitty thing that women have been stereotyped.
Yes, and she's good at playing that type of character is what I'm saying.
Is she though? I don't think she is. I really don't think she is.
You do not believe her as that dumb character?
No. Every time she talks, I'm like, that's a line. I can hear it. I can hear her delivery.
So even her acting. So you do have issues with Megan Fox. So
I did. I told you I don't enjoy her. I respect the hustle. Do not enjoy the art.
So there needs to be that. We've talked about this before. The Megan Fox and Jessica Alba movie.
I would not watch it. I would not watch it. Yes.
There was a third.
Let's
there probably is. Shannon Elizabeth.
There you go. Shannon Elizabeth.
There's some people are almost like, I get it. You're making money, and I respect it, but I just don't enjoy it. And it's the same thing.
We're basing this off of characters, though, too.
That's fine, though. And that's fine. I respect people who are out there like, I get that he's an artist. I just don't enjoy his paintings.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Like, I'm not being disrespectful. No. Just don't get it. Don't like it.
We need to remake Lethal Weapon with those 3 characters for you.
Have fun with that, and I won't watch it. No.
Well, I got it. We put those 3 characters in the new Charlie's Angels, so we can get.
I haven't even seen the latest Charlie's Angels, so
that's the perfect way
knock
to get
yourselves out.
That's the perfect way to get the 3 of them together.
Knock yourselves out. I won't watch it. Y'all want to make a horrible movie? Do it. I ain't a part of it.
Well, fuck, Diablo Cody can make horrible movies and win an Oscar. So
I know. And again, I do think her Oscar was because of her. I mean, she had.
It was just.
It was the people she had. No, it was the actor. She had.
Okay, no, but I'm saying the fact that she won was political BS. But the movie itself, I get what you're saying. I've never seen it, but I mean, those characters. I know the actors in the movie are good actors.
Yeah, I mean, Allison Janney.
Yeah, she's great in everything. I love Allison Janney.
Yeah,
I would leave you right now for Allison Janney.
And it would be justified.
All right, as long as we're on the same page.
Yes. I didn't understand, and like I said earlier about the whole, like, the film didn't amp me up in the amping up parts. Like, when she's running out of the dance, right, to go find Chip, I'm like, how the fuck would she even know? Like, where is she running to? She's just running outside going, Chip. And I'm like, why would you even know where they're at?
And, well, see, that's the thing.
They told her because when she went back to the house, she asked her mom where he was, and like he walked to the dance, and he cut through this place, which he normally cuts through.
We didn't see that part at all.
Was there an extended scene?
No, it's in there. She runs back. Like, after she leaves the dance, she's like, I gotta get to him. And when she realized she's got to get to him, she goes back to his house.
See, what we saw was she runs and finds the flower.
She just runs through the field, finds that corsage.
Yeah, and then runs to the pool. That's all we saw.
Yeah.
What the hell were you guys paying attention to?
The movie. That's all that it was.
Maybe you saw.
She goes back and she talks to the mom.
Maybe you saw an extended version. That's not the version we saw.
Yeah, we just saw where she finds the corsage on the ground,
like
and then
she
runs
just starts
to the pool.
booking it, and she has a weird. It's just weird.
Why is she
run.
wearing an 80s dress?
Yeah, I don't get that. See,
I was like, what is this choice of dress?
And that's playing up to like, are you basing like she's like a stereotype character? Like I feel like she was Ducky from the 80s and like those type of side characters that were like, I'm kind of in love with them, but I don't know.
I feel like maybe this was a writer's room of we're gonna put this in there because it was in the 80s. Oh, and you want to do the Heather, so we're gonna add this in here.
Yeah,
but then didn't explain it or make it cohesive in any manner.
She's the only writer. There's no room. Her
there's
head,
always a room.
Her mind is the room.
There's always one writer, but there's always extra people in there.
I'll have to see what version you guys
her
watch.
name's on it is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Yeah, the whole 80s dress and her hair all over. And even when Chip's like, you look great, and she's like, you can't see it. I'm like, what are we doing here?
You're soy sauce, babe.
You're soy sauce. I was like,
is this nerd flirt? That's what I wrote down.
I don't think so.
Nerd flirt, but
with her dress, I was waiting for the Napoleon thing. I like the poofy thing that she had.
Yes, because she was dressed like she was from the 80s. She was the only one dressed like that, though, even at the dance. I was like, it's not an 80s theme.
I don't know. She's just poor, all right? Her mom works late night. She doesn't have a dad. She couldn't afford anything. That was her mom's dress from the fucking 80s.
Well, say that. Explain it in the movie, at least. Don't just put this poor bitch in an 80s outfit and just make it try to look like it's normal.
Well, they didn't want to ruin a nice dress that was going to go in the pool anyway.
Well, they did for Jennifer. She just hopped in there.
Well, see, that's the whole thing that they put them on two ends of the spectrum. That it takes you out.
Was.
I don't get why there was a pool.
Like a random, looked like a building.
A random decrepit pool that had water in it still, but was all overgrown with vines.
Yeah, I was like, did Jumanji happen in this fucking pool?
Somebody played Jumanji,
what the fuck?
and that's what happened in this pool.
It's like the parish kid gonna jump out.
Yeah, sure did.
Williams.
Nope.
In the jungle, you must wait.
Yeah, I guess until Jennifer's body comes at 8.
A fiver.
Comes at 8.
Eats 8. I don't know.
There you go. Jumanji, Jennifer's body crossover. That's what we need. This would have they would have made this movie better.
It was funny to watch this movie though, because like you see how little everybody is. Because they did make what's her face look so tiny. Amanda Siegfried. Like I'm
Siegfried.
like Siegfried.
Siegfried and Roy.
You do look 16 in this.
She does.
Yes.
She looks like a child.
It's the glasses too. They put too small glasses on her, and it makes her face look smaller.
I'm saying the wardrobe, makeup, everything. It was great to make her look like a child, basically.
You put her in baggy clothes.
Yeah, and even when she's getting dressed to go to the rock show, it's like, oh, that's my rock outfit, and with young Neil.
Yeah,
it's like, I see your front butt.
I
can see your womb.
I'm like, no 16-year-old boyfriend would say that to a girl. Nobody ever. Like, nobody would be, ooh, your womb.
And okay, how can Diablo Cody simultaneously be bad at writing young teenage boys, which I can understand, and young teenage girls? I'm like, were you not a teenager at one point? Did you not speak to other teenagers? Why are you trying to come up with this whole other like secret language that doesn't make any fucking sense for anybody?
I also didn't understand why Needy was like, when Jennifer says dress cute, she has a whole code, and like our friends all have that, but nobody's
have that.
No, I mean,
Dudes don't have that.
That's not like you can't accentuate your tits, because as a 16-year-old girl, if you got tits, you're accentuating them.
No, I'm saying like to that extent where she's like, I can't wear this, I can't do that.
No,
it's
more of like, it's more of like you have that friend who like, just don't wear this color because that's the color I'm gonna wear, or like, and it was always stupid. I never subscribed to
You mean
bullshit.
like before you went out, or like a standing order, like I'm the one that wears red?
No, like before you went out, like especially to like dances or stuff like that, but never to like, we're going to a rock show, make sure you dress specifically the way I want you to. Like,
I get
thing
that.
was always don't wear the same shirt I wear.
Yeah, it was like stuff
but
like
it's
that.
Very rare for guys to like wear the same stuff.
Well, when I was in high school, my standard wardrobe was jeans and t-shirts. So
the only time that can happen is when you're wearing football jerseys.
No, that's true. Or going to a concert and you're like, don't wear this shirt because.
Well, why would you wear the shirt of the band you're going to see?
I don't know.
So that's weird. Who does that?
Weird.
Don't do that. You buy a shirt there.
Yes.
If you buy the shirt there,
I had to explain that to my mother.
Yeah.
I was going to like a rock concert and she's like, you have so many Linkin Park shirts. I was like, no, I can't wear that to the. She's like, but why? I was like, do you really not know this? What is wrong with you?
Because I'm not a fucking psychopath.
Because I'm not a weirdo. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not stalking them. That's why.
Paying to see a show, not trying to become a succubus and shit.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so many choices. So many choices
so
in
many
this
wrong
film.
Choices.
But see, what you two need to do, and anybody else needs to do, is watch this movie for what it is multiple times and enjoy it.
Which is the Twilight version of a succubus story.
Yes.
If Twilight and MTV had a baby about a succubus.
Have you ever seen Twilight?
No.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I think I've seen most of it.
No.
I don't think I've ever sat down from beginning to end and watched the whole thing.
Well, it's real intense. There's a lot of like focusing in on her breathing and shit.
Oh, I've seen those videos.
Yeah,
where it's like she
you've
just
seen
looks like
she's gonna puke.
She's gonna puke or swallow something real quick.
And it's all like amped up the like love aspect, where as far as Jennifer's body is all focusing in on Jennifer's body and her killing people because she's angry, not
well. See,
love.
I'm saying it more Twilight, not so much as the first Twilight movie, but as Twilight as the whole series or whatever.
It's a cookie cutter story that's marketed because of the pretty faces in it.
Well, see, the whole
pretty in it.
Their whole weird love aspect of the two of them being a thing or not with Jennifer and Needy.
Yeah,
that I'm like that's the aspect I say is kind of Twilight-ish for me. That it's like that weird.
Well, that
teenage
and then like
love
there's supposed to be like a triangle between Needy, Chip, and Jennifer at the end.
Yeah, but it doesn't even make sense because I'm like, would you just want to eat him?
Yeah,
because what's the point? You could just eat anybody because at one point it's like you're just mad at each other and like
you're just being a dick to your friend.
You're just being. Is this supposed to be like this is what a teenage succubus would be like if she was like a superficial teenage girl
in
a small shit town
I have no idea.
that takes it in the butt? Like I don't know. Like I don't know what this movie was trying to be.
And there's like for it being about teenagers, there was a lot of sexual references and drinking references and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, again, who is this for?
I know. What was the point of the whole X on her hand at the bar if she was just gonna go up and get shots anyway?
Yeah. Don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
This bar would not play that band at all. I don't know if I said that already,
and even when she was like, how are you going to get alcohol or whatever? She's like, I'll play Hello Kitty with the bar. And then she goes to the bar and it's a chick bartender.
That's Diablo Cody.
Yeah. Diablo, she wouldn't have given her drinks.
No.
Like, that's just stupid. That doesn't make any sense.
What Diablo Cody is telling me is that she would have.
You're thinking way too much, and that's what's ruining it for you.
Well, I'm sorry. I want a cohesive.
I'm sorry.
movie.
Yeah, because
don't think it all.
Okay, you say that and all, but even the movies that are so bad they're good are still have a cohesive story that makes sense. Even if it's a batshit crazy reason, it still makes sense. Troll 2, terrible movie, but still makes fucking sense. It's crazy. It's batshit crazy, but the point is these things.
His ghost grandfather shows up out of nowhere on the side of the road, Paul.
But how many movies do we have ghosts that show up to help people? That's been in fucking Shakespeare. That's a literal
I didn't pick Troll 2. Okay. I didn't pick Jack Frost, and I didn't pick Jennifer's Body. Is all I'm saying.
I'm saying at least Troll 2 has a coherent story, a batshit crazy story that had literal crazy people in the fucking movie, but it was still a cohesive story.
You just really hate Diablo Cody.
I don't get it. I don't get the hype.
It's the same thing with me with Megan Fox. I just don't get it. Don't get it.
Yeah, she can play the dumb ditzy.
And I disagree with that as well.
Right.
I don't.
Well, I think she can.
Well, maybe it's because I know dumb chicks. I know actual dumb chicks, and I'm like, this is a caricature. Well, and maybe that's my issue. It's not even a good caricature of a dumb chick.
But I think that's the thing that she might have been going for in this movie.
Bad caricature?
Yes, bad caricatures. I think and then
Megan Fox just can't deliver the lines cheesy enough.
I'm really just having to my brain is having to just be like, okay, maybe she was trying to do that. I'm really trying to justify all these things to make that this movie is somewhat of a coherent thing.
Maybe that's why we're just not into it, because it's like it doesn't want us to think, but then it's trying to make us think, but then it's also trying to make us not think.
That's how you're gonna appreciate this movie more. So just stop thinking it and realize, okay, this is a bad movie, and I'm gonna enjoy watching.
That's what I said.
Movie.
I mean,
need an edible.
Going back to it at some point, knowing that I'm headed to Camp Arawak, and it's gonna be a crap fest.
There you go.
We're headed to Camp Arawak's, less unfortunate camp that's a little bit down, for the rundown camp.
Angela's better than Jennifer.
Yes.
Angela is greater than Jennifer. Greater than
all day, every day.
Appreciate the movie for that next time you watch it, because now you can actually enjoy
anytime soon,
how bad it is.
I don't know, man.
I will say that this movie is better than The Burning.
The Burning was bad, but it was still.
I'd rather watch The Burning than Jennifer's Body.
I would not. I would rather watch Jennifer's Body than The Burning.
Because I know what The Burning is, and The Burning knows what it wants to be, and
I don't think The Burning knew what it wanted to be.
Yes.
The Burning knows what it wants to be.
Well, this isn't about The Burning. We've already had our discussions about The Burning. We need to let The Burning be in the past.
The Burning versus Jennifer's Body podcast.
We should have a battle between some of those that we hate. That might be a good episode,
Battle of the worst ones.
Yeah, the battle of the worst movies. We have to rewatch them. But I don't know if I can rewatch Jack Frost again.
No.
I could rewatch Troll 2.
Yeah.
Troll 2 is not bad.
Yeah, I'll have fun with it.
Jack Frost might be the one that might be pulling teeth, though.
Jack Frost was so bad. It was so bad.
Which is worse, Jennifer's Body or Jack Frost?
I just said Jennifer's Body was not as bad as...
You said Troll 2. You said Troll 2.
Did I say Troll 2?
Yeah,
I thought I said Jack Frost.
No, you said Troll 2.
Well, it would go Jennifer's...
Those three.
Jennifer's Body... Troll 2, Jack Frost.
You think Jennifer's Body is better than both of those?
Yes.
Yeesh.
And not, I mean, it's
because
marginally better.
But those at least have a coherent story. There was no coherent story in this movie.
You know what turned this off? And it's purely me. I have a pure bias from it. Is the song following her everywhere? I'm just like, I hate that. Like that.
I don't know any of these songs by name, but I know I hate all of them in this movie.
And it was that song. Like that song was designed.
See,
for
that's
you to
another.
hate it,
yeah, no.
It did. It put me off every time it came on.
That's another thing for me. So I don't like any of the music in this movie, and I don't think there's ever been a movie that I can think of that I can, top of my head that I'm like, I hate every single song that's in this movie. And that's what this movie is for me. So that's what takes me out of it too. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to have to get really fucking high to watch this, to not hear the music and just not think about how this goes nowhere ever with any decision they made in this fucking film.
I don't get why she needed to eat Chip. I just still don't get it. Leave Chip alone.
That to me was just teenage petty bullshit.
There was a whole fucking what was it, gym full of other teenagers. He could have eaten it. Yeah.
She even said it was an all you can eat, but the only reason why she wanted chip was because she knew it was
because she was mad at Needy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then she's not really a succubus. She's still just a hungry teenage girl who wants to be a bitch.
What exactly is a succubus by definition? Like the formal.
They
whatever.
are demons that. What is it? They're supposed to either.
They go after dudes.
Yeah,
I know they go after men.
They go after men.
So it's like a demon version of a siren. Like, so that was my other question. Like, do they have powers to draw men in?
A female demon believed to have sexual intercourse with sleeping men.
So she just rapes dudes?
Apparently.
So a succubus is like the rapist?
Well, I'm pretty sure in the mythology, she comes into your dreams and like you have sex in your dreams with her, but like you're actually having sex with a demon while you're
in real
asleep.
life?
Yes.
So so anytime that you've had that dream, so if you've ever had a dream where you're having sex with that celebrity that you're in love with,
that's really a demon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to steal your essence.
The only reason why I know succubus
is that what it is?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's like that What We Do in the Shadows episode where they're just trying to get their sperm.
Just enjoy it for it being bad and you'll enjoy it that much more.
Yeah, you definitely have to not think
but
to enjoy
bad
this
needs to go somewhere.
And maybe that's my thing is I just don't like movies where I don't think.
I don't know.
Hey, you've said it in the past. You like having movies that you just throw on and you don't have to think.
But even then, at least I'm into a story or I'm not thinking because it's so ridiculous.
But those movies you put on in the background where you don't have to think, it's the comfort movies. You're like, I already know what's going on. I could just not pay attention for 10 minutes and then look at the screen and know where they are.
Maybe
and
that's
still
our problem.
know where they are in the story.
Yeah.
Maybe that's our problem, Paul. We paid too much attention to this movie.
You paid too much attention to it.
it.
You paid way too much attention to it.
We were into it and focused. Like, what's the story about? We should have just been like, duh.
Okay, and I get what you're saying, Saul. Like maybe we should have done that, but I mean, but think, watching these movies, for the podcast, we definitely we analyze things and see the trends that are happening or where they're trying to go with these characters and all that. And I guess like what you're saying is, you can't do that. You absolutely cannot think when you watch it. And that's the thing. I was not prepared to absolutely not think at all when watching this movie.
So now that's what you got to do the next time you do. You got to get super, super duper high when you watch it.
Because like, what was the whole fucking thing about the hole, the devil's kettle? Like it didn't have anything to do with the story.
And then at the end, it's just on the street.
It's just on the street.
Like, why did it wash out all of a sudden one day? And why is it that
all the balls too?
Yeah,
and the scientists didn't follow them anywhere.
Yeah, why is there was 2 of those orange balls and then the knife? I'm like, I guarantee people have been throwing shit in there for fucking 100 years before even scientists.
Yeah, I'm like, why did they have to take her body there to do the ritual? Like it didn't make any sense.
The only thing about that is I took that I was like, well, that's kind of a good place to get rid of evidence.
I guess maybe it's like that vortex thing, just like it brings the weirdos out.
It's a big. That's what I'm saying. Like we said in Last Exorcism, like it's the vortex that has the aliens and the cults and the demons all in this one town.
It's craziness.
Knowing what you guys know now, you guys will appreciate it next time you guys watch it.
I did think her line.
I don't appreciate Megan Fox, so I doubt it.
I did think that Needy's line where she was like, they say it could, could be a portal to another dimension, or it's just really deep.
It's just really deep and comes out somewhere. We all know that those things just come out somewhere else. Like it's not that big of a deal anymore.
To me, I'm like, if it just goes farther enough, it dissipates because that's getting hot to the Earth's core, right? Like I don't know, if it's just a big hole, then nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Yeah, that was Jennifer's body, I guess.
So if we leave you with anything, like I've said,
don't think. Eat an edible.
Think. Just
have an edible,
don't
have some
think
drinks.
at all. Like, don't sleep for 3 days and have some edibles and some drinks and then
I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Everybody's like, they always share the memes like Jennifer was so badass. She wasn't though.
She wasn't.
I don't get why people idolize it. That's my last 2 cents. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I don't know. If you're one of those people that defends this movie, let me know why. podcast at scarinerd.com.
If you want to argue with us, please, let's do it.
I would love. I would love.
I
not even so much argue. I just want to know your point of view of why you think this movie is like great. Like I want someone that's like, this movie is great and it's underrated, you know, or this, like, why do you think this is a masterpiece? You know, like that's what I want to know. I don't get it.
I don't want to know that, because then again, it's like,
I don't get it. Like that's the thing. It's like I just don't get it.
And if you say it's because I liked Cabin Fever, I'm like, oh, you don't have good taste.
No. Well, here's the thing: the more people they try to justify it, the more you realize you're just going down a rabbit hole you don't want to go down, because, like, okay, now I don't value anything you have to say anymore.
I do that a lot with Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, I don't understand Napoleon Dynamite.
Is that what this movie, like, is that the people this movie was for? Is that the people that defend this movie? So if you like Napoleon Dynamite and this movie, I don't want to hear from you.
And the thing that I hate about Napoleon Dynamite is not actually the film. It's the people who love the film. Yeah. It's the people who, for 10 years after the movie came out, just fucking continued to quote it. And I was just like, it was funny one time. Like in the movie, it was funny because it was off, you know, it was random. Yes. And it could be funny and stupid, but when you say the same line for 10 fucking years.
It's the same thing with Borat.
It's not.
You still have the Borat people.
Exactly.
Nah, it's
like,
not shit.
Stop making things unfunny, America.
No, I watched Napoleon Dynamite once. I'm like, all right. It was way after, because I'm like, I'm not giving this piece of shit a chance. And I was like,
it was the people.
People
laughed put me off from it
one time in the whole fucking movie, and it's when his uncle throws something.
Oh, and he throws the piece of meat.
Yeah, that's the only time I laughed.
Piece of meat or the orange? I can't remember.
I think it was a piece of meat. I think it was like a steak or something. He threw it at him. That's the only time I laughed in that fucking movie. Speaking of a part in Jennifer's Body, when Needy goes out and she punches the tether ball and it just comes off, I'm like, I cracked up at that part.
Did, yes.
I cracked up at that part because I'm like, that is just like, I get that as like you know, it's an amalgamation of your life, you know, for her living in a mental hospital. Like that's about, you know, par for the course of my life right now.
Well, and see, the beginning of it maybe is what it fucked up the rest of the movie for me, because I enjoyed the beginning intro, and like when she's giving that whole backstory of like being hell as a teenage girl or whatever, and she's got her lines of like, I'm the shit and I'm a kicker, it says so in my chart. Like I enjoyed all those pieces. I was like, okay, we're gonna have a fun, fast-paced, like interesting, like teenage girl story, but then it was not that at all.
That immediately confused me right off the bat, because you're like, Jennifer's Body, and I'm like, okay, then why are we starting off with this chick?
And she didn't kick anybody else. Like in the beginning, like she was a kicker, so I wanted to see her kick more people in the movie.
Well,
like,
she tried, but they put her in solitary.
And then she was a half demon. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it.
Turn off your brain, Angie, and enjoy it for that.
I will try. I will get super, super high and attempt.
Do it.
I don't know, man.
Do it.
It's gonna be rough.
It's not gonna be anytime soon.
But anyway, that was Jennifer's Body. We did not enjoy it. Saul enjoys it. If you turn off your brain, let us know what you think.
Does Kim enjoy it?
She hated it.
She did?
Yeah.
Why do you like it then?
Because of how stupid it is.
It is stupid. I'll give you that.
What's your favorite part
of this one?
Yeah.
The freaking emo kids.
A different movie.
The
emo kids. When the mom starts yelling at them, it says that you didn't see what I saw, where it was spaghetti with teeth or lasagna with teeth.
Lasagna with teeth. I do remember that. And I do think that the character of Colin was funny, and he's played by what's his face. He was in The Walking Dead. He was also in The Haunting in Connecticut.
Here's the movie that I always remember him from.
Kyle Gellner, I think is his name.
The movie I remember him was the shitty remake of Nightmare.
He was
in that. Yes. I don't actually think he's a terrible actor, and I do think his part of being the generic emo kid was funny. But again, when he pulls up to that house, I was like, and then he just breaks into it. I was like, no, that's clearly not her house. You do the B&E. Get out of there, kid.
You don't need to do a B&E for some vagina.
And was he even going to give vagina? And like he literally just asked her out for a date. Like
I know,
there was
like,
vagina was not even on the menu.
She was like, let's watch something. Like she brought up a movie or something. She's like, I got DVD or blah blah blah. Let's watch DVDs or something. And he was like, okay, like But yeah, like when you show up and like we're gonna watch a movie and we're in this like abandoned house that's either abandoned or being built or something.
And speaking of just shit out of nowhere, even Needy's like, when he asks her out, she's like, well, that's out of nowhere. I'm like, see, even these fucking characters know how terrible this movie is. They don't even fucking know what's going on.
Well, see, that's why I question, like, do succubus, well, now that we know the fucking definition of them, they're like dream demons or whatever.
They're supposed to.
I was thinking, like, did they have a trance? Did they have a trance thing like that? Because they didn't play up the aspect.
Do you not remember the South Park episode where Chef?
I don't remember the South Park episode.
And the succubus?
No, I don't remember
Chef
that.
died because he got sucked into Scientology.
Scientology killed Chef.
Dead.
I'm gonna make that T-shirt.
Scientology killed Chef.
Nobody could sue me for that.
Anyway, that was Jennifer's body.
What are we doing next week?
Discombobulated Jennifer's body. Next week will be June, and we are coming back with Psycho Dads. We did the Mother of All Possession month, and we are going to give you some crazy ass dads now. Yes. So all June we'll be doing Psycho Dads, and we are going to start off with the Amityville Horror.
I thought we were starting off with Stepfather.
Either one.
We're doing Stepfather. We're doing Amityville. If you have any suggestions, let us know.
Yes.
We
want crazy dad movies, crazy dad horrors.
We actually have a whole month planned. We don't need suggestions.
I don't know, but if there's any good ones.
If somebody comes up with a good one that we didn't think of.
All right. Well, that was Jennifer's body. Our last of the Mother of All Possessions month.
Discombobulated
hey,
film
if anything, this film gave us a great discussion.
That it did.
We had a good discussion on how terrible this movie is.
Yes.
But anyway, we'll be back next week with either the Amityville Horror or Stepfather.
Psycho
we don't know.
Dads.
Psycho Dads. But anyway, make sure you guys.
There you go.
Yeah. Make sure you guys check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/scarynerd. You can check out more horror entertainment news by going to scarynerd.com. And we will see you guys next week for June.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.